All right, hello again, everyone. So today I want to get back to my hi-fi recording with VHS. In the past, I had a video where we were using one of these VCRs from the late 80s, which has the ability so you can manually control the record levels. It has nice VU meters and such. And based on my own testing, the recordings were pretty good. I mean, they were pretty close to the digital source, not exactly, but pretty close to that. And there are other people out there with videos on YouTube that shows exactly the same thing. So these things are wonderful for analog recording, sound great. However, the issue I found with this is that it's pretty boring. And I mean that not from an audio perspective, but from just a visual perspective. Because when I compare that to my other like reel-to-reel machines, tape decks from the early 80s, there's no real visual appeal to this. This looks pretty much like a CD player from the mid 90s would look. So boring. And today I want to talk about how I hope to make VHS hi-fi system a little bit more exciting. And this takes us to this unit. This is the Jensen KVC1500, and this has a few things special about it. And number one of which is that it is actually a unit made to go in cars, and that's why we have this cigarette plug adapter instead of a regular AC plug. And because of that, it was made to be real compact. So effectively, this entire thing is just a VHS mechanism surrounded by plastic and metal case. I took the cover off so we could get a look inside of it. But the overall really stripped down VHS, and it's from the late 90s, so the mechanism being used is really the mechanism that I think the Funai mechanism from the late 90s, early 2000s. But it's kind of perfect for what I want to do. What you get with this thing comes with obviously the cigarette lighter adapter, comes with a little remote. More importantly, comes with this IR repeater or IR extender. So the assumption is that you could mount this in the trunk somewhere, run this all the way up into the front of the IR repeater into the front, and you'd use the remote to control it. And of course, you need to hook it up to the TV LCD screen somewhere in the car. The other really nice thing about this, and the reason why I want to use it for audio, is that unlike many other mobile VCR units of that era, this one also records in hi-fi. So you play back hi-fi and records hi-fi through the RCA plugs in the back, and which makes it perfect if I just want to do audio, because it doesn't have anything extra. As you could tell, it's just like regular buttons, no real LCD screen, and that's it. But all the audio stuff it has in there, and it sounds, for audio playback, it sounds pretty good. As far as visuals, it works so pretty decent. Plugged it in, and now we're gonna give you guys a quick view of how it looks like. And in addition to getting the VCR and all the mounting brackets and accessories that came with it originally, the seller on eBay also left in this Silent Night VHS tape. So let's give that a look. I mean, the tape is obviously real, but from 1998. So, and I'm actually surprised that it still shows the way it did, especially given that this was mounted inside a car. We've been sitting outside in a much hotter temperatures, a high humidity situation. So it seemingly works pretty well. All right, enough of that. Let's now talk about how we plan to use this. So as I mentioned, that the fact that this really is just a VHS mechanism surrounded by a case, and this has the audio inputs and outputs, obviously has a video inputs and outputs too. My plan is to mount it not like this, not like you would normally find like flat like this, but mount it on the side like this, so that, and then have the cover here that exposes all the insides of the VHS mechanism. Because if you ever watch one of these things work, they're pretty fascinating. So imagine if you have a audio playing and you see in this VHS tape moving around at, I believe, half the speed of a regular cassette, but then you have the record head flying around here, and let's hide all of this. And then I have a VU meter, so I'm gonna just put it on the side of it, and all of that hopefully is just gonna be slid into my 19-inch rack. The challenge I have to doing this is building a case around it, so that's gonna be number one. And the second challenge, I think, is just gonna be mounting this, the little TV screen, and also the VU meter right next to it, and giving it the ability to slide in and out of the rack. It has to slide in and out of the rack because if I'm loading it from the side like this, it's sitting inside the rack. Obviously I can't get the tape in and out, so plan is to slide it out, put the tape in, and then slide it back out. So subscribe to this channel, and hopefully I'll start making some progress on getting this together, and then I'll show you guys the final results when it's sitting in the rack.